Hey guys! So, I'm sorry, I forgot one crucial thing in the last video, which is to actually play your scenario in game, you need to create a mission config. We can look up how to do this in Arma Reforger, because obviously it comes with some missions. We can go into Arma Reforger, missions, and then you will see a lot of config files. You can just double click one of those. And then you can see it is a SCR mission header. And you can see we need to select the world and we can give it a name, author, and so on. And it's in a missions folder. So we're just going to replicate that. I'm going to go into our tutorial project. I'm going to make a new folder, call it missions. Go into that folder. We can right click and create a config file. We're going to call it tutorial mission. You can call it whatever you want. And then over here, we're going to select the SCR mission header. There it is. And we double click it to open it up. Give it a second to load. And then under world, we can select tutorial project, worlds. And now we want to select our tutorial scenario. We don't want the scenario base. That was just our first scene with all the necessary managers in it. And then we can give it a name here. Something silly so we can recognize it later in the UI. And then, yeah, you can give it description, details, all these nice things. I think important is you have a world and a name, I believe. I think everything else is optional. Then we're going to save it. And because this is already being created in the same folder as all our mods, you see it's in users, documents, my games, Arma Reforger add-ons, where also it downloads all the workshop mods too. It should already be available in-game. Now, I just tried this, and activating it in-game didn't actually load my scenario for some reason, but there's a little workaround we can do to fix that. Is we can just go to settings of Arma Reforger here in Steam, and under startup options, we can type dash add-ons, and then we just type the name of our project, which is tutorial project. And then when we start up Arma Reforger, we should now be able to see this first off in workshop under downloaded. There's tutorial project. I renamed it. I can show you where to do that in a second. It will also show us 0 bytes because we didn't publish it yet. So you can test it locally before publishing it, right? Let's go back. And let's go to scenarios. And then some name for a mission from Cap's tutorial. And description is optional. And obviously it's for one player, because that's what the default is, and we didn't change it. And my mouse cursor is stuck. Ooh. Anyways, just hit enter. And let the mission load. There you go again. You can change the image there. I didn't, just the default. And we can just hit enter all the way through until we spawn. And there we are. And if we wait a second, we should see these guys arrive. Oh, there's the sharpshooter running around. Where are the other guys? Let's just check here. There they are, just coming around the corner. And teleporting around. Or no, not teleporting, they're jumping over the stuff. So that seems to work. Great. Yeah. Also, one more thing that I saw in another tutorial is in your world, basically in the AI world, in our scenario base, remember we added a AI world prefab there. Inside that, you can set a nav mesh. I don't know if you need to do that because the AI seem to be able to move even without it. But yeah, that's just a thing to be aware of. Right, okay, so here's what I meant. In our scenario base, we added this SCR AI world. And over here, it has this nav mesh world component. And in the nav mesh settings, there's actually a Navmesh file that you can open up. By default, it's empty. And you can click on open, and under Arma Reforger worlds, you'll actually find multiple nav meshes that you can use. You can either use the Game Master Eden nav mesh, or someone else said the campaign nav mesh also works. Campaign, I think, is the internal name for the, what's it called, conflict game mode. So let's just pick that, because why not? So I don't know if this is actually necessary, because the AI seem to be able to move without a nav mesh. But just in case, you can set that there, and you can save it. And also, even if you opened up, for example, tutorial scenario, you can still modify and save scenario base as well. You don't actually have to open up scenario base. You just saw I edited it, it had the asterisk, and when I saved, it's now actually saved. Before we actually go and publish our mission now, we can come to our tutorial project, and then we can go double click this addon.gproject file. I believe you can also just open it with a text editor, because I think it's just a JSON file or something like that. And in here, you can change something. So the ID, I wouldn't change that, because it's actually the same as your project name and the same, like, the same that we type in over here for -addons tutorial project. That's this ID. Right? The geo ID, we don't want to touch that. It's used, for example, in the workshop to be a unique identifier. And then we have a title, and this is the title that actually shows up. And you can change it to whatever you like, and you can change some other things. But I think that's mostly it that we want to change. We hit OK. It saves that. And now it has a nice description. I'm going to hit Control S to just save the tutorial mission as well. And then we can go to Workbench. And first you'll have to log in. Now I'm already logged in. And you hit Publish Project. And okay, project name is Tutorial Project. And it's going to put it under Arma Reforger Publish, actually. So I guess when you hit Bundle first, it's going to create a pack file in this Publish directory. Because right now all of these are loose files. Right, and if I hit Bundle, it failed. That's great. But what's going to happen, yeah, that's what I thought, is it's going to create Publish, Tutorial Project, and then it's going to have a pack file here. And then this pack file is actually uploaded. Okay, so after checking out the Discord for Arma, I found you cannot have these 3 default images. They can't be empty, apparently, and you can't have the default images for some reason. You need to have images that are actually inside your project. I'll just import some image, and I'll just set it as all 3 of them. Okay, and if we go to publish project now, you'll have to type in everything again if you closed it. Very good. And now bundling actually is successful. And then when you go to your My Games Arma Reforger publish, it's actually going to be a bundle.zip there. I'm just going to hit publish now. And apparently publishing is successful, so I'm going to open up Reforger, which it's already going to have it installed, because actually, let's remove that and see if we can download it. So if now we go into the workshop, we can search for tutorial. And it ain't there. I guess it might take a while for it to like actually... No! You know why we don't see it? I know why we don't see it. We have to go to filters. And we have to go to test mods. Right? We don't want... If we search for it now, there it is. Because I published it as test. Right? So if you're gonna upload something random just for testing, please upload it as a test mod. Out of the way of everyone else. There it is. There you go. You can download it, you can enable it. And now in scenarios, it's not there. Great. Why? It is enabled. Oh, you can double click it from there? I don't quite know, I didn't show up. But yeah, there you go. At least you can start it from the add-ons menu. So if it doesn't show up in the scenarios menu for whatever reason, maybe because it's a test mod, maybe it doesn't show up. But there in scenarios, you can then enable it. And start the game. And then just spam enter. And for some reason space to deploy instead of enter. And yep, here we are again. Okay, our sharpshooter and these guys. Oh look, now they're actually keeping to their formation. I said too much. Oh well. So you can see it works, and yeah, there you are. Hope that was helpful, and good luck making your own missions. See you later.